In making our mandala, the first thing we need to do is make folds. The first fold is going to be in half, so now we have two rectangles, or halves. Make a nice clean fold, touching the corners. Now we're going to make fourths, so we have 4 different boxes, and make it nice clean fold again. And this time we're going to fold diagonally, and do the best you can to make the cleanest fold you can. And now we have eighths, so we have 8 little triangles going in a circular motion around a center point. This is a radial design, kind of like a snowflake or a flower. I decided to go over my fold lines with my pencil. You don't have to do this, but this just made it easier for me to make my radial designs inside and help me remember where my fold lines are. Now I'm going to select one of these triangles to make my mandala design, and we're just making a design using simple shapes and simple lines. So I did a curved line, and make sure when you make your design you push really hard with your pencil, and I went over it a couple times so I have a lot of lead on my paper. I'm using simple shapes and simple designs. Don't get too small or too detailed, because this will make it a lot easier for when we have to transfer our designs to our paper, and I'll explain more of that in a minute. So make sure to make a simple and big design, and also go over it a few times with your pencil so there's a lot of lead on your paper. I'm going to continue making my designs, making sure to use lots of lead and make my designs big and simple until my triangle is filled. Now we're ready to transfer our design. I'm going to fold my paper in half, and then I'm going to use a flat object like a Sharpie, and I'm going to push really hard with my Sharpie and rub so my design transfers to the other side. You can kind of see the design through the paper, so make sure you cover the entire design multiple times, pushing hard with the blunt edge of your marker. By studying my rubbing very carefully, I can see where my design transferred. I'm going to go in with pencil, doing the same thing I did initially, and I'm going to go over my design and make sure I'm using a lot of lead, going over my lines multiple times. Going over my lines, making sure there's a lot of lead on that paper. Now I'm going to repeat that same step by folding my paper so it's touching the next triangle. Sometimes you might need to fold diagonally, making sure my crease is nice and clean, and then taking my marker to transfer the design. Then once my design has been transferred, I am taking my pencil, going over my lines, making sure to go over them multiple times, and pushing hard so there's a lot of lead on the paper. Once complete, you will have a design that has radial symmetry, where it's symmetrical all around a center point, which is the center point of our folds. When you're done with your pencil, I like to go over my lines with a Sharpie so my lines are nice and dark and my design is bold and you can see it from a distance. So I'm going to go over very carefully all of my lines with my Sharpie. When coloring, I still want to think about radial symmetry, having it be the same on all sides around that center point. So I decided to do a pattern. You can do some patterns. I decided to do a pattern of green, blue, and it's the same. That pattern goes all the way around that center point. So still think about radial symmetry when you're coloring. You're going to take your markers, try to fill in all of your white space, or you can use colored pencils or crayons, and fill your design with interesting colors. Once your design is fully colored, then your mandala is complete.